listeners, viewers, please click on the subscribe button if you're watching us on YouTube. Make sure that you follow us on Twitter at Council Talk, on Instagram at Council_Sports Talk. Two Joes. Check us out live every Monday night between 8 and 10 p.m. on Facebook and on YouTube via the GS Radio YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe on the GS Radio channel also. Let's talk some NBA. We've got 10 minutes, and there's two stories that I want to touch. All right? The first one is going to be right up your alley, Tim. And I'm going to quote from a Yahoo Sports article written by Ben Rolbach. And the title of his article is Luke Walton is mulling lineup changes, and the Lakers may be mulling a coaching one. What is happening in the Laker Nation, Tim, in terms of Luke Walton's job security? We know he's under a lot of pressure. There really can't be anything worse than you are being involved in a chain of command with LeBron James ahead of you and Magic Johnson, and you know what I'm saying? It's, you know what I mean? It's, I would not want to work for Magic Johnson and LeBron James in this particular situation, because it's not gonna. It just sounds like it's not gonna work out. They have to have 100% confidence in you, and they have to be willing to let you work and fail. And we know that that's not going to happen. So, what's actually happening from the Laker Nation perspective with Luke Walton and his job security, Tim?
Well, yeah, it's one where it seems that Laker management is not holding Luke Walton, solely accountable, or as some have said, as the scapegoat for, the Lakers only winning 3 out of their last 11 games. Because Rondo is not in, LeBron is not in, those are easy outs per se. Like, yeah, the Lakers team was not built to sustain a long period of times without their number one and possibly number 2 best player coming in, right? So you have LeBron James out for now 11 games and looking like he may miss a little bit more time. Them still being in the 8th spot in the West, while that's not where you want to be,
well,
for Luke Walton, you got to say, well, okay.
Tim, 8 could turn into 13 in 2 days.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, you could be out of the playoffs in 3 games.
Way out of the playoffs.
Yeah. So I still don't know. One, if Luke is the right coach for this team. But I also don't think that Luke is solely to blame for this, because again, this is not, what the team was organized to do, and it's not sustainable without LeBron James being on the court. With that being said, though, I have to ask why LeBron James is still not on the court. They're very vague with their responses on his injury. It was a strained groin that the MRIs revealed, no tears, nothing serious, but he's now been out, 3 weeks, going on 5. So I'm wondering if LeBron is, slow playing this a little bit.
I wouldn't doubt
to, try and make a point, to try and show Magic, hey, I need my guys in, or I need somebody in.
No, Tim.
New Orleans,
that's not it, back. Tim, it's to rest. It's to rest.
I don't think he's that hurt.
No, it's to rest. Period. Any day he can get off makes him better later. So you always want a guy like that to not play 82 games, especially on a team like this where the load is on his back, where he doesn't have a legitimate number 2 or number 3. You want to avoid him playing 82 games. So if there is an ulterior motive, it is.
But you don't want to start the playoffs at 6. You don't want to be that 6th seed.
Right.
You need to be top 4.
Right.
If the Lakers are top 4, it's a win for them this year. If they're top 4 in the West and they get a home playoff series, it's a win for them this year. You do not want to play around with this and be like, oh, we can turn it, because we don't know what that turn on switch is.
Right.
So you can't come back and be 5 games out of the 8th spot talking about, oh, LeBron's back now. All of a sudden we're going to go on a 15-game win streak, because you end up playing for that 8th seed the last week of the season, and you're not ready for the playoffs. You don't have your lineup set for the playoffs. Like, you've had to run people into the ground just to make the playoffs. So while I understand, hey, give LeBron a little bit of rest, he can't take too much.
Right.
Because the team that he's on is not a finished product. You still talking about trying to make trades for people. You still trying to get cohesive with people. I think that you're hurting Brandon Ingram's trade value with him not being able to finish down the stretch of these games. And if I'm New Orleans, I don't want Brandon Ingram. Like, I don't want that. I see what that is. At the end of the game, he's going to ISO, and on 3 out of 4 possessions, he's just not strong enough to take it to the hole. His shot's not good enough, and he's going to get stripped down at the end of the game.
And he can't hit free throws either.
Not to go back to the football, but, like, if you cannot produce in high situations, situational basketball at the time when, hey, you're up 4 with 48 seconds left, you need to get a bucket, and he can't do it. And then on the other end, you're giving up threes. Like, no one's going to want that.
Mm-hmm.
And so the more that LeBron sits out, the more these guys are going to be like, yo, I don't want him. I don't want that guy for Anthony Davis. I don't want this guy for, potentially that guy. Like, no one's going to want to pay a king's ransom for Brandon Ingram.
So it's not Luke Walton's fault, basically.
No, but it is to some degree. He's got to be a better coach.
Where is he faltering? What are the issues that Luke Walton is having that he could?
I know one.
Go ahead.
I wonder some of some of the lineups he puts in the game sometimes. Like when the game starts to slip.
Absolutely.
I'm wondering, why is this group still playing for this long period of time?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you holding timeouts and sitting on them? Like, Popovich will let you play through it sometimes, but then what's his name? Phil Jackson would just sit there. You could go down 10, 12, 15.
You can't do it.
Yeah, but then I'm watching him and I'm like, what exactly is happening? So I don't know if somebody's talking in his ear and telling him, put these lineups, let's showcase these guys.
Right.
Let me see what he can do. Run this kind of play for him.
Well,
like that.
And again, this is what's really, really crazy about coaching the Lakers. Not only do you have Magic and LeBron, but you got Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know who is calling shots.
Yeah.
Because
no. I hear you. I feel that you don't know.
Wait a minute.
Phil
Jackson and Bill Walton have a direct line into Luke's head.
That's true.
Oh, Phil Jackson might be the next head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Maybe Derek Fisher.
I mean, that's what people are literally calling for
Kobe.
right now. They're like, stop the madness, kill this right now, and bring Phil in. And so, here's what Joe's touched on, though, is the core of what I feel is the issue with Luke Walton's coaching. When he was coaching, for Steve Kerr in the Bay, and Golden State ran off, like 25 out of 28 wins under him, and people were talking about if he was going to win Coach of the Year or if Steve Kerr deserved it. And I'm like, well, okay, great. He sits back as if he is Phil Jackson sometimes and will not call certain timeouts.
Right.
He talks to these guys about a lack of hustle and intensity. And honestly, he needs to be more vocal out there.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be out there imploring these guys, hey, if you want to play, I'm giving PT to the people out there that's hustling, that's going, that's diving for balls. And if that means, Lonzo, you're going to sit next game, that means, Lonzo, you're going to sit next game until you realize. Like, he needs to be at this point more aggressive, more assertive. Like, you can't let people go on 10-0 runs. Like, you have to stop it at 6. You have to treat these guys with kid gloves right now.
Because they're
you have to be on them. You can't give any liberty for that.
They are actually all
he's got
kids.
to control that game.
Right. No, you do have to coach.
Absolutely.
Without
and
LeBron, without LeBron, you're coaching a developmental team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you're coaching the G League. You're coaching the G League, the South Bay Lakers. And while they have NBA talent, they haven't been able to put it all together. And, we call what Phil did, playing mind games with people. He got Kobe and these guys to read during the season and to be, together. Like, I can tell you Kuzma and Rondo are not reading right now. Like, they're not doing that.
Right.
And it may be just a era type thing, but these guys need to be more cerebral with the game that they're about to play. They're not focused on the game at hand. They see it on their schedule, and it's another night in another city. But they are not laser focused in on their assignment. They're not laser focused in on hustling. They're not doing the little things, and that's where coaching comes down. Like, you got to run them. If, like, you guys play sports. If you guys went out there and stunk one game, what was you doing the next game? I don't know what we was doing. We was running. There might not even be a ball involved in it. And that's where defense comes into play. Your stamina.
Ball.
You got to run.
You just brought back some really bad memories. There was no ball.
Take them back to Hickory. Take them back to all of those movies and those things. Put the ball down, and you guys are running suicides all day. And you know when you stop running suicides? Because you guys are winning basketball games. And you know why you're winning basketball games? Because you were running suicide. And now your defense is together. Now it's hustle and effort for the most part. Because everybody in the NBA has talent. They all have talent. They were all probably the best player in their high school. So you got to understand, like, you got to run these boys. And they are kids, so you got to make them go.
Right.
And they're losing games. It's one thing to lose, but they're losing the teams you're not supposed to.
Right.
Cleveland, sorry about your Knicks, but they should have beat the Knicks too.
The Knicks is in every game, man.
I know.
The Knicks are in every game, and they blow it just at the right time.
Losing to Memphis. Like, those are the games that make people start looking and say, uh-oh, something's not right.
So the Western Conference standings right now, Denver's in the number 1 spot at 29-13. Golden State 29-14, number 2. OKC, which I really, really like. I really, really think this is OKC's opportunity, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them beat Golden State and go on to the conference final. I'm not one of the people that have earmarked Golden State for the NBA Finals, because I believe that a LeBron Lakers team, I believe that OKC have what it takes to beat them in a 7-game series.
I'm not sure about OKC.
Yeah, they're super deep, man.
They do.
They are super, super deep.
They're deep, but man, they shoot themselves out of games.
Aquaman is balling. The lane is like the ocean right now. You know what I'm saying? The paint,
Aquaman.
The
he
paint
does look exactly like Aquaman.
Dude, Aquaman is not playing.
Khal Drogo.
You know what I mean? Portland's in 4, 26-18. Clippers 5, 24-18. Houston, Harden just really killing it and carrying this team, really, really stepping up.
They had a little injury though.
24-18. Capella.
You guys heard about Capella though, right?
But I'm looking forward. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what Isaiah Hartenstein can do with this opportunity. So I'm not. Capella makes an impact, but his impact in terms of winning ball games is, I feel like he's replaceable at this point. So we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I like Capella's game.
If it's the high side of 6 weeks, again, we're talking about the West, and you go on a 5-game losing streak, and you're out of the playoff picture.
Right.
But I don't see them falling to the bottom or anything like that. But I do think that it does hurt them ultimately.
Again,
I see them as a playoff team.
It depends on what. Okay, so when you're looking at the Lakers losing a player, that player being LeBron James, that's not replaceable. So you cannot replicate.
No.
You can't replicate his production. Can you replicate Capella's production with Hartenstein?
No,
we don't know.
I don't think so.
We don't know.
I don't think so.
We haven't seen Hartenstein.
Capella's getting you 3-4 blocks a game.
Capella is playing phenomenal. His game has evolved. He is fully developed. He's
a vacuum around the basket.
Everything.
He's offensive rebounder, defensive. He's actually helping Harden's game. All those shots that Harden's missing, he's rebounding.
Now I'll give it to him, but let's see what Hartenstein can do. San Antonio 25-19 is in the 7th spot. The 8th spot, Lakers 23-21, Utah 23-21, Sacramento 22-21. All right, so the West is getting thick. Dallas is way down here at 20-23.
They don't care. They don't care.
Well, I don't think they're going to stay there. Like I told you weeks ago, I thought Dallas from the beginning of the season, coming into the season, that Dallas was going to be better and potentially a playoff team. So
Well,
I expect
Barea went down too.
Barea did go down, but Jalen Brunson is going to step in and replicate. That's my word, replicate.
Their coaching, their coach and their system will allow them to replicate.
Right. Devin Harris can replicate. So I don't think losing Barea is much of a loss, except for obviously his veteran savvy and leadership.